Welcome to the stream, everyone. If you're new, my name's Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Oh, man, we got a lot to cover, and President Trump just had an absolutely amazing speech in Minnesota last night. And, you know, if you've noticed, and I'm sure you probably have, Donald Trump is doing what Republicans haven't tried to do since Biden first went to the Senate in the 70s when Nixon was president, and that is go after blue states. You know, places that Republicans never thought would be in play are in play now. And Trump in Minnesota, it was one of his best speeches that he's ever given. And I'm going to go through some of the highlights from the speech in no particular order, and we'll get into the drug test thing too, because that's important that he called on Biden doing. But I wanted to start by kind of starting at the end when President Trump did his finale. This was just brought the house down.
And together we will make America powerful again.
Yeah, right there, you're already offending the liberals. Oh, America's going to be powerful. Yes. Well, yeah, we will be powerful again. Sorry, Democrats.
And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, how can any rational American person take issue with any of that? Anyone who has a problem with that is either a sociopath, a complete sicko, they want America to fail, or they're not an American and they're rooting for some other country. And I love how these Democrats, when you talk about making America great again, and you're talking about all the things that Donald Trump said, they get so turned off by it, it really doesn't even make sense. And in their circles, in liberal circles, like if you're the MSNBC crowd, I don't know if they have enough viewers to consider what they have a crowd, but if you're an MSNBC type person, making America great and powerful again, it's like holding a cross up in front of a vampire. And they think we're nuts because we want that. Like, they think it makes you some type of racist or something. I don't quite understand their mental disease. But this speech last night was just spectacular. And this is a weird thing that they did here, okay? So there's a problem with the podium, which I'll play for you. And look at this headline. And I've seen similar headlines on other publications online today. Trump, 78. I don't know. Why do they have to include his age there, right? They're trying to, it's like, oh, he's old. He's just like Biden. No, he's not like Biden. Trump, is got the mind of like a 35-year-old. And Biden has obviously some type of severe age-related dementia. But this is just the Trump haters in the media trying to make some comparison between him and Biden. Trump suffers embarrassing wobble at Minnesota rally with campaigners for 81-year-old Biden branding the former president feeble. The first complete nonsense. Hold on. We got to get through this ad first. Hold on. Then I'll pull this video. And I when you're doing something like Trump was doing, it's, you're at a public event, you're public speaking, you're on stage, it's live, and there's a snafu. It's how you handle the snafu that determines whether or not it's embarrassing, right? So he has this snafu with the podium, and the way Trump handled it was pretty funny, I thought, and perfect.
But Americans are not struggling. This is the worst platform.
I mean, look at that. Have you ever seen such a thing? Here he is, President Trump, and the the podium thing, it just collapsed.
But Americans are not struggling. You know, this is the worst platform. Who put this stage up here? This is the worst. The frickin' place is falling down. I notice it keeps tilting further left.
Yeah, and the way that they present this in this story is like Trump can't stand up straight like Biden. And the podium looks like it's like some cardboard thing you fold together that you bought, kind of like those art science project things you get for your kids where they have like those boards and they open up in 3 pieces. And you have what really is a disaster happening on stage, and he just rolls with it.
But Americans are not struggling. You know, this is the worst platform. Who put this stage up here? This is the worst. The frickin' place is falling down. I notice it keeps tilting further left. Like too many other things.
Just went right with it. Pretty funny.
What a crappy contractor this was.
Yeah. I mean, what about that makes him look like anything other than, like, competent? Donald Trump was branded feeble by Biden supporters. Really? Feeble? Give me a break. Here he is. And boom. Anyone else, not just Biden, but most anyone else, if this happened to them, they'd be in big trouble. If you're on a stage and the podium comes apart, what happens with most people is they panic. And President Trump just, and that little joke he made about tilting to the left, I mean, that's brilliant stuff. But they brand him feeble. And I don't know how that moment will play in the media because it depends on how they present it and how they edit it, how they show it, how they build it up, et cetera. So we really don't know how the media is going to play that thing, but they could go with this route because that was the Daily Mail. I've seen it in a few other places. This feeble thing is circulating on Twitter, on X, whatever the hell you call it these days, and when in fact the opposite is true. Now, this thing about the drug test. And this is, I want to play this. This is Trump demanding the drug test, and I'll talk about it a little bit.
Say, remember that idiot from CNN? Oops, I shouldn't say that. I'm doing a debate for them. They'll be slightly tougher. No, I have fake Tapper as they said, I
Fake
just
Tapper,
want to
okay.
debate this guy, but, and I'm going to demand a drug test, too, by the way. I am. No, I really am. I don't want him coming in like the State of the Union. He was high as a kite. I said, is that Joe up there? A beautiful robe? And by the end of the evening, he's like, well, it was exhausted, right?
Well, okay. Now, this is the thing with the drug test. And I wonder about this with the drug test. And you guys, by the way, if you're watching live, you can call me live on the stream. The call-in number is pinned to the top of the live chat if you'd like to call in live and comment about any of these things. But if you're not watching live, you can let me know in the comments. Now, I don't know too much about drug tests because I'm not a junkie like Biden's kids, okay? So I don't have to worry about avoiding drug tests. You can test my pee anytime, on demand. You can test it if you want. But I remembered when Lance Armstrong was on Oprah after he'd been exposed. And Lance Armstrong talked about how he avoided them finding that he was on the drugs that he was taking. And I learned something about drug tests I did not know from Lance Armstrong, who found a way to beat the Tour de France drug testers. That I thought when they did a drug test that it found anything in your system that wasn't supposed to be there. And that's not necessarily the case, that they specifically test for certain drugs. Hey, caller, hold on. They specifically test for certain drugs. And if you're taking a drug they're not testing for, it comes up clean. Is that true? And if that's the case, who knows what exotic deep state drugs they'll fill Biden with to pep him up. You know what I mean? If they're testing for cocaine and they got him on some weirdo drug that they're not testing for, will it come up? Maybe not. Then he has a clean drug test. Let me know. I don't know the deal about that. Okay, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hey, it's Joan from Tampa Bay, or actually Valrico, Florida.
Okay, Joan, what's up?
All right, they found coke in the White House, and now they recently found coke in the Capitol where he gave his speech.
Correct.
So I think maybe that might be his drug of choice.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's unusual. Never heard of them finding cocaine in the White House. Then they find it in the Capitol building. So yeah, it's very unusual, and that seems to be the one. But if they're testing for cocaine and the drug he's taking isn't cocaine, I think the test will come up that it's negative, and they'll say, "Oh, look, he's not on drugs." A drug test can actually be dangerous because everyone knows that Biden's doped up on something.
No, if they took a hair sample, it'll show how many drugs he's had in a period of time.
But don't you have to test for the specific drugs? You just can't test the hair.
No, not with the hair sample. No. If you put in a hair sample within a correct period of time, they could check for all sorts of drugs.
Oh,
with
okay.
A hair sample.
Okay, so a hair sample, you don't have to be specific on what you're testing for, you're telling me.
Correct.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know about these things because I don't do drugs, so I've had to take drug tests a few times in my life, and I just take them because I don't do drugs, you know. I never thought too much about them.
You know, they could take my hair, they could take my blood, they could take anything, but no, a hair sample will show, you know, if they have it within a reasonable period of time, because it takes a few days because they're testing for all sorts of drugs and how long they've been administered. It'll show up.
How long? I wonder what's the fastest you can do a drug test by hair to get a result.
That I don't know. We need somebody that does that.
And we have to know that it's his hair. You know what I mean? We have to know it's his hair, and not somebody else's gray hairs.
That's true too. Well, I don't know how much of his hair is real on his head, though.
Well, he did have those hair transplants years ago. Remember the doll hair transplants he used to have?
Yeah.
Those rows?
I think he needs to take it from the back of his neck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or something like that, because I think the stuff up front is all fake.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody asks me to take a drug test, I'll take it. I'll do it live on TV. I don't care. It's going to be negative.
Yeah,
I'm not even on any prescriptions.
Neither am I. I just take vitamins, you know?
Yeah. They should do a herpes test, too, and VD and all that stuff on him. Do it all.
Oh, who knows?
Find out what else this sleazy guy's got.
Oh, who the heck knows? But, yeah, and I think the daughter came out and said that, yeah, he was in the shower with her.
No, she did not come out and say that.
No?
But there's people are talking about it. She didn't come out and say no. That believe me, the mainstream media would even show that. Well, we learned something about the drug test. You got to do it by hair. All right, appreciate it. Now if anybody knows how long it takes to get the result back from the hair test, that I'd like to know. Can you do an instant test with the hair, or does it take time? What I mean is, can Biden show up to the debate, they take his hair and do it right there? Because I don't trust these people to use his hair. Do you? No. So I don't know. We got to find out. I don't know too much about all that stuff. But I'm sure we have some liberals in the audience that know all about it. All right. So let's, now I wanted to share this. President Trump, look at this. This is on True Social. On behalf of the future Vice President of the United States, who I have not yet chosen. So notice he's assuming victory. We hereby accept the Fox vice presidential debate, hopefully at Virginia State University, the first historically black college or university to host a debate. Date to be determined. I urge Vice President Kamala Harris to agree to this. Make America great again. So that's amazing. I mean, here he doesn't even know who his pick is going to be. Well, at least he's telling us he doesn't know who the pick's going to be. And he's already agreed to the debate. And I hope, I hope that whoever he picks is a good debater. Because Pence, the Pence debating is kind of like boring, right? He was the guy last time. That wasn't all that Interesting. But, one thing that would be interesting to bring up again is the historic racism of Joe Biden. Someone put together this montage, and it's a montage. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Roz. How you doing?
Hey, Roz. What's up?
That lady, Joan from Tampa, she's a little bit wrong on the drug testing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
How's it work?
Okay. It works like this. If they test you for drugs, okay, just a regular drug test, anything that you've been taking will come up on that test. Now, if you've been on a narcotic or a drug, it takes 6 months after you stop before it gets out of the hair.
With the hair. But,
yes, but
do
it
you,
takes 6 months.
But if do you have to test for specific things? Like if they give him some exotic prescription type upper that they're not testing for, it'll still show up in the hair test if you're not specifically looking for it.
Yes, it will. I know because when I broke my neck, they gave me pain meds. And the deal is that when you take them, when you stop taking them, it takes 6 months for your body to clear it. But that's the hair thing. But if they just do a regular test, everything will come up. Cocaine, whatever.
Do you know how long it takes to get a result from a hair test?
That should be like right away.
I don't know.
Right within an hour.
We'd have to do it right then. I mean, you can't trust Joe to not give them somebody else's hair.
No, he has to be sitting there, and they physically take it out.
I mean, this isn't like you and I going for a drug test. There's no way that they don't have a hair drug test system that's really quick that they could do on site.
Listen, it sounds like he takes cocaine to get up there and make these crazy speeches. Mm-hmm. So that means it's in his system, and they don't even need to do a hair test. All they need to do is just a plain drug test, and it'll show up.
I remember when home drug tests, when they were new in the 90s, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They were new. You could buy them over the counter like at Walgreens and stuff. And we were talking about them on the radio. And mm-hmm. I was talking to the guys at the radio station. This was off the air. I said, we should go and get some of those drug tests and take the drug test on the air. It'd be kind of a cool promo. Oh, a couple of the people had meltdowns. Oh, you can't do that. You can't. That was kind of a drug.
They were probably taking something.
Yeah, that conversation was a drug test in itself. People that don't want to take drug tests are doing drugs typically, right?
Oh, exactly. I mean, if you have nothing to hide, you just take the test.
Yeah, why not? I bet you Trump will take a drug test. But then again, you got to be careful because I wouldn't trust them with Trump's hair. You know what I mean? Would you trust them to give a drug test to Trump? I wouldn't trust them.
No
way.
They'd switch it up. No. Let me tell you something about President Trump.
If Biden's drug test would come back clean, and then Trump's would come back positive with these jokers.
Yeah, because that's how they are. But
let
me tell you something about Trump, though. He doesn't do drugs. He never has. He's never smoked a cigarette. He doesn't even drink alcohol.
That's right, because of his brother.
Yeah, and he's always been clean, and he said that he raised his kids that, hey, you don't do any drugs, you don't smoke no cigarettes. They probably have an occasional glass of wine or whatever, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he doesn't even drink wine. Do you know, I remember on the Celebrity Apprentice, he kicked off, I can't remember which one, but one of Kim Kardashian's sisters. The one that everybody thinks OJ's her dad, the big tall one. Everybody says OJ Simpson's her dad.
Yeah, that's Khloe. That's Khloe.
He kicked Khloe mm-hmm. Kardashian off of the Apprentice because she had some drunken driving incident, and he was really pissed at her that she came on the show. He didn't know about it, and she was out. He got rid of her.
Oh, I used to watch The Apprentice too. That's how I became to like Donald Trump. Because I always thought he was fair about things.
Yeah, I remember how it began. Barron, who was like 2 years old, and Melania would take him to
Yeah.
the helicopter, and he'd fly away in the helicopter, and Barron was like in a little suit at 2 years old waving.
Yeah, he's cute.
Yeah, it was good. Now he's like 12 feet tall.
Well, he's a nice-looking boy, though. He looks like Donald to me.
I wonder if he's done growing. Is he still getting taller? I don't know.
He's 18. He might still sprout up some more yet.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, I appreciate the info on the drug test. Okay, so we're getting some more info out there. I know we've got some Democrats in there that know all about the drug testing. So this is, I saw this on Twitter today. Trump's campaign put this out. This is a montage of Joe Biden, and he's talking about black people, in particular black men. Listen.
There's about 100,000 of them who are the predators. 100,000 of the kids you read about in the front page of the newspaper every day. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, a portion of them will become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Wow, he's talking about black people. And, yeah, I know. He loves black people, right? To be in jail, that's where he loves them. Joe Biden, you know, he's a typical Democrat racist, came up with the help of all of those racist segregationists. I mean, he just hates black people. And that's one of the reasons that Donald Trump is doing so much better with blacks than any Republican since Eisenhower, because a lot of blacks have learned what a racist Joe Biden is. Okay, he does not like black people. Now, Laura Loomer shared an amazing story about this judge. You know, this corrupt judge in New York City with the daughter who took $10 million from the Biden-Harris and Adam Schiff presidential campaigns, and she's still raising money. She's raised about $100 million on the promise of putting Trump in jail while her dad's the judge. I mean, this is just like textbook corruption. And Laura Loomer, she tweeted this. I'm going to go through this article. Look at this. Laura Loomer. New York Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman sent payments to Judge Mercan's daughter's home address while admitting to coaching their star witness, Michael Cohen. So we got Democrats sending money directly to her home. Doesn't she have an office address? There's the judge, the daughter, and the congressman. New York Democrat Dan Goldman continues to expand Judge Mercan's vast conflicts of interest. Congressman Goldman has been mailing checks, plural, from his campaign to Judge Mercan's daughter's personal home in Richmond, Virginia. Authentic Campaigns is based in Chicago and D.C., making matters worse, in an apparent attempt to cover up that he was sending checks to the daughter's home, Congressman Goldman wrote checks to Authentic Campaign instead of Authentic Campaigns. This is a major FEC violation. Laura Loomer exclusively reported that Congressman Goldman is a client of Authentic Campaigns. Goldman said on MSNBC Monday that he deposed Michael Cohen and met with him several times to prepare Cohen to testify against Trump at the trial. Loomer was the first to report that Judge Mercan's daughter, Lauren, is the partner and part owner of Authentic Campaigns, a firm whose feature client is the Biden-Harris campaign. Goldman's actions prove that the rule of law is, it goes on a little bit. So that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene was asking the committee. How many of you are paying Mercan's daughter? And, I mean, in what world does this not take over the news cycle? Could you imagine if this were a Republican and everything else was reversed? I mean, that's insane. And what I learned from this story is something I did not know. I did not know that she was a partner and part owner of that company. Did you? The way the media have been portraying it is that she's just an employee of that company. And since she's just an employee, no matter how much they do for Democrats, it's not really her. She just happens to work there. So now we know she's a partner, part owner, and the guy sending checks, plural, to her home, not the office, and he's writing them out in a way that's not exactly accurate for the name of the company to try to cover the tracks. I mean, this is how bribes are done. The daughter is to the judge what Hunter is to Biden. And this congressman is like the judge's Burisma. And anytime it comes up in the media, they're like, oh, she's a political Democrat consultant. Nothing to see here. No big deal. This is one of the most corrupt actions I think we've ever seen openly with our justice system. I mean, how does this not look like bribes? What do you guys think? Does it look like bribes to you? I mean, what else could it be? Sending the checks to her home? Now, Father's Day is just around the corner. There's no better place to do your Father's Day shopping than MyPillow.com. And as you can see, the sales just continue. 50% off the MyPillow My Coffee with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You can also use my promo code Kane, Kane, and on Mike Lindell's other website, his My Store website. But look at these deals for Father's Day. The slippers and sandals as low as $25. These are great Father's Day gifts. I'm a dad. I know what dads would like, and dads would like that. Here we are coming in the hot time of the year. The MyPillow 2.0, buy one, get one free with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And the MyPillow 2.0 inside has that same patented fill as the MyPillow that started it all, but the 2.0 has that temperature regulating technology that keeps your head and neck perfectly cool all night long. You'll never flip the pillow over again looking for the cool side. It's great to have during those hot months that we're already in Florida. The MyPillow mattress topper, 50% off. Oh, I forgot to mention, on all orders, $75 or more, right? If an order is over $75, free shipping site-wide. So if it's over $75, free shipping on all orders over $75. The MyPillow mattress topper, which I sleep on, comes in every mattress size, 50% off. Your dad will love that. And remember, dad isn't just your dad. It could be your granddad. It could be your husband. It could be your son. So, again, you can use my promo code Kane on all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones that I talk about. If you go to the My Store, you can use my promo code Kane in the My Store for great deals there. Look at that beautiful cross. Isn't that something? The pet beds, we have these, just $25 with my promo code Kane. And remember, when you use my promo code Kane at checkout at MyPillow.com, you're supporting my program, my YouTube channel, the radio show, the podcast, and all my content. So promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout. And, of course, there is still time to order for Father's Day. Now, this here I'm very confused about, and I'm not sure if you guys can tell me what the heck this is. Of course, that's Chris Christie and Scaramucci, right? What is this? You see that kissing? That's like almost on the lips. Have any of you kissed a man before? Have you ever kissed a man? These two are doing it. Look. What the heck? What is that about? And they seem to enjoy it. I've never seen that, and I'll tell you, I've never kissed a man. And of all men to kiss, Chris Christie. Now I've never seen something like now. I at first thought that Chris Christie wasn't going in for the kiss; he was going in for a bite because I'm sure he's hungry all the time. But this is just weird. Yeah, I mean, and that is not edited. That's crazy. I mean, I don't even have words for that, and I'm very, very rarely lost for words. But you're not gonna see me kissing a man. I'll tell you that right now. It's not gonna happen. Oh boy, if I was gonna kiss a man, it wouldn't be that man. That's for sure. What about you guys? I mean, what is that about? Two of the biggest Trump haters out there. I know it's gross, isn't it? I know. Ugh. Yeah. It's a weird world. I guess they have a bond that may have turned romantic from the Trump derangement syndrome. I don't know what it is. I know it's I apologize for showing that to you, but I saw that. Actually, I saw that a couple days ago, and I just didn't know what to make out of it. Very strange. Now, AOC, who is, she doesn't seem as hip as she used to be, right? You don't see her in the news as much. And, AOC, she's always puffy under the eyes, too, like she's partying all the time. But, the thing with AOC, she's going to be with us probably for the rest of our lives. I mean, she will probably be plugged in to the Senate seat when Schumer retires, and she's going to be around for a long, long time. Here she is.
Are you for real? So let's talk about this, because so much of our national conversation, which is not a conversation about immigration, is driven by people who could not care less about immigrants.
See, now what had happened was she was doing a live stream. She does live streams on Instagram, and somebody had asked her during her Instagram live stream, they asked AOC, why aren't you crying over kids in cages anymore? Pretty good question and a fair question. You could make a very good case she never cried over kids in cages, because that photograph of her crying was to an empty parking lot. Remember, it was staged.
Are you for real? So let's talk about this, because so much of our national conversation, which is not a conversation about immigration.
See, what's going on at the southern border is not immigration, it's an invasion. There's a big difference, right? When France was overrun by the German army, that was not immigration, it was an invasion. Now, they don't have tanks, but they are definitely coming across with deadly fentanyl, which may have killed more people in the last 3.5 years than the Germans killed to the French during the invasion of France.
Is driven by people who could not care less about immigrants. Often people want to say, why aren't you talking about the border crisis? Or why aren't you talking about it in this way? Well, we're talking about it. They just don't like how we're talking about it, because it's not a border crisis. It's an imperialism crisis. It's a climate crisis.
See that imperialism. This is how they describe America. This is an imperialist country. Imperialism. I don't know where they get that from, but that's what we're the imperialist.
It's not a border crisis. It's an imperialism crisis. It's a climate crisis. It's a trade crisis.
A climate crisis. See, this is this other thing. They're fleeing a climate crisis in Latin America is what they're telling us. Where's the crisis? Where's the crisis? Where is the climate crisis in Latin America that they're fleeing? Because I'd like to see this. If there's some massive climate crisis that would back up their Green New Deal and their global warming racket and all that stuff, don't you think they'd show it to us? We're likely to see that. We're likely to see combat in Ukraine that's recent before we see that. Because
it's not a border crisis. It's an imperialism crisis. It's a climate crisis. It's a trade crisis. And also, it's a carceral crisis. They want to say,
It's a what crisis? Hold on a second. It's a what?
Carceral.
Carceral? What is carceral? Is that like a casserole? I don't know what that word means. Carceral. Okay, hold on. Carceral means relating to or suggesting a jail or prison. It can also refer to other methods of social control. The carceral system, this sounds like something they teach in these liberal universities. Have you ever heard of that word, carceral? I've never heard of it. The carceral system, I guess it's like incarcerated, some connection to that word. The carceral system is a network of systems that use state-sanctioned violence to preserve the state's interest. This violence can be physical, emotional, spatial, economic, and political. Carceral, relating to or of the nature of a prison. In a sentence, they say, Arthur has been in a carceral institution for 5 years. I've never heard that word. Have you? What is she? Yeah, she's got one of those word of the day calendars. Who has heard that word before? Carceral. I've heard of casserole, yeah, but I've never heard that word before. And I think I'm a somewhat educated person.
Because it's not a border crisis, it's an imperialism crisis, it's a climate crisis, it's a trade crisis. And also, it's a carceral crisis. They want to say, what about the surge? Well, first of all, just gut check, stop. Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame.
Boy, she uses a lot of words and sentences that really don't make a lot of sense. Are people talking about the surge of the illegal invasion at the southern border? And if you say that, you're describing a militaristic framework. There's a lot of gobbledygook that college professors feed to young people. You know what she sounds like to me? She sounds like a very stupid person who's using fancy words and phrases to try to sound like she's smart, right? That's what it sounds like to me.
Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. And that's a problem because this is not a surge. These are children and they are not insurgents and we are not being invaded, which, by the way, is a white supremacist idea.
Okay. See, this is the thing. This has been going on with liberals since I've been around and longer than I've been around. If you challenge them, they call you a racist. And if you go to a white liberal and you call them a racist, they fall down on the floor, they get into a fetal position, they start sweating, shaking, and then begging for forgiveness. And to say that we have a southern border and that people should not be coming here illegally or being sex trafficked, there's also labor trafficking going on, there's a slave trade going on at the southern border. That doesn't mean you're a white supremacist. It means that we have a border. I mean, look, I just came back from the cruise. I had to have this. I keep it here on my desk. Why the hell did I need this? Right? I go to Aruba for a few hours. I had to take this. If I didn't have this, I couldn't get on the boat. Why do I need a passport to go snorkeling in Aruba for a couple hours, but these people can come here with nothing and set up a whole life and be retired and have everything paid for? I mean, this is, yeah, any of you have a passport? I mean, my goodness, why do I need a passport? Oh, jeez. I keep it here. I kept it here on my desk since I got back. All right. Yeah, I know. There's the lizard tongue coming out. She's a serpent. All right, let's go back. Finish it up.
Is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. And that's a problem because this is not a surge. These are children.
Oh, they're children? Really? Was that a child that probably raped and definitely killed Lake and Riley? Was that a child? I don't think so.
And they are not insurgents. And we are not being invaded, which, by the way, is a white supremacist idea, philosophy.
Now AOC's name, of course, is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, which means that she's a descendant of the conquistador, and Cortez is responsible for genocide of the native people of South America, all for silver and stuff, right? She's the descendant of it's like being a descendant of Hitler. And she's telling us something's wrong with us. When I hear Cortez, before AOC, the only thing I ever thought about was the conquistador and his genocide, right? Exactly. So she's got some apologizing to do to the, who are you going to apologize to? Her ancestor exterminated them. There's no one left alive that's a descendant to apologize to. So anyway, getting back to President Trump's speech last night in Minnesota. This Minnesota speech last night, do you guys agree it was one of his best speeches ever? It really was. I'm going to play some of the clips that I haven't already, but listen to this.
When I return to the White House, we will stop the plunder, rape, slaughter, and destruction of our American suburbs, cities, and towns. We're going to stop it fast.
That's right.
We will shut down immediately all deadly sanctuary cities. We're going to close them down. And
Yeah, I mean, how can you be against that? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
You know, obviously somebody has schooled AOC on the Democrat playbook.
I don't know. Maybe she's just got one of those word of the day calendars.
Well, I mean, that whole thing sounds like, what Rush used to call the playbook. Racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe.
That's for sure.
All that stuff. So obviously she's buying into that playbook. And you're right, her name Cortez. She's somewhere along the line. She's kin to the conquistador. Somewhere along the line.
That's right. And he exterminated the native people of South America. By the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is the most pro-MAGA Donald Trump place you'll find anywhere. Yeah, she's got all the buzzwords.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And as far as the drug test goes, you have to get somebody that's a third party. You can't have somebody that's from Biden's side. You can't have somebody that's from
what
Trump's
I think
side.
they should do is they should each have their own independent drug tester. President Trump, Biden can pick whoever he wants, and then President Trump can bring in Ronnie Jackson, Dr. Ronnie Jackson, the congressman. He could be in charge of the drug test from the Trump camp.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't that be cool? Ronnie Jackson.
Yeah, there are. Well, here's the deal. In Congress, there
Biden
are
can have
many
Fauci
doctors.
and Birx do his test. Fauci and Birx can be Biden's people, but Ronnie Jackson will come in and do a check, a control.
There are many doctors in Congress and in the Senate.
Mm-hmm. That's
there are many doctors. I mean, Dr. Rand Paul. He's a doctor. So
yeah, he's an ophthalmologist. He's an ophthalmologist.
Yep. Well,
and
there are a few other ones, but one of those doctors could come in and do the thing. And you're right.
Yeah.
You're right about Cortez. What's his name isn't going to be around too much longer in the Senate. She's angling for that Senate seat. Oh
yeah.
And
Yeah, I wonder. I'm looking up right now. How many did Cortez kill? I just Googled that real quick. He wiped out the Aztecs.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
he
a
wiped
whole
out
society.
They're saying here, it's estimated that Cortez, who of course AOC is a descendant of, the C is for Cortez in her name. It'll never be definitively known how many Aztecs were killed by Cortez, but it's estimated that he killed 200,000 during one battle alone. So if you count, he is responsible for the death in total of as many as 20 million.
Mm-hmm. Right, and that's the thing. It's not just the Aztecs. They had multiple Native American Indian tribes in Mexico at that time.
Yeah, and he also started the slave trade in South America, if memory serves. He started trying to enslave the South Americans. I think AOC's got a lot of explaining to do. Her family is responsible for genocide and slavery directly. She's got the name.
Right. Maybe she's feeling a little bit guilty.
Yeah, it's like being Alexandria Ocasio Hitler.
Yeah, really.
It is.
But then again, what do you expect from? She's not a bartender. She's a barfly.
A barfly.
Yeah.
Well, if you see her on television, her eyes look puffy, like she's been up drinking the night before. She's All right, hey Mike, it's good to hear from you, man. All right, take care. Thanks so much. Yeah. So anyway, let's get back. If you'd like to call in, please do. If you're new, when I'm live streaming, I take live calls. And if you're watching live, the toll-free number to call in is pinned to the top of the chat. Okay, so let's get back to the greatest president ever, Donald Trump.
When I return to the White House, we will stop the plunder, rape, slaughter, and destruction of our American suburbs, cities, and towns. We're going to stop it fast. We will shut down immediately all deadly sanctuary cities. We're going to close them down. And The people in sanctuary states, they don't want them. They really don't want them. It's not so bad. If you would have said that 5 years ago, 7 years ago, but the people, they don't want them. They don't want that. They don't want sanctuary cities. It's the politicians that do. Somehow it's good politically. I don't actually think it is, but we're going to shut them down. I'll shift massive portions of federal law enforcement to immigration enforcement. I came in and saved a couple of your cities. Remember that? You remember that, right?
Yeah, we remember. I mean, I can't wait. This second term is going to be so exciting because President Trump's going to come in with a mandate that no president has had since Roosevelt's first term with the New Deal. And he's going to get all this stuff done quick. You know, the first 6 months are going to be so busy. It's going to be nonstop every day. And things are going to be happening so fast. The fake news media and the Democrats are not even going to be able to keep up with it. While they're criticizing him for one thing, he'll be doing something else, right? Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. Another great clip. I pulled up what I were some of my favorite clips from the speech.
Actually, how about where they were flying them? Did you see it got caught 2 months ago? Everyone's, they're pouring through. But then we found out that they're flying them over the border, freely flying thousands and thousands of people over the borders into little towns and states, great states that they didn't do anything to deserve this, and they're being swamped now. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand the thinking, We're really, some people say you're conservative. I say, yeah, I'm conservative, I guess, but I'm really more of a common sense person. I think.
Yeah, he's a common sense person, right? He says, I'm more of a common sense person. That's right. Everything he says makes sense. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi.
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Steve from Staten Island, New York.
All right, Steve in New York. What's up?
Well, I just seeing how it looks like Trump is going to just steamroll over these people. It's amazing that you have people who are seeing people, illegals coming in. 2 wars, we can see, thanks to Biden. We
That's
got.
right.
And yet to say, that's no problem. It is a problem with us. And they're not getting it. It's amazing. I really think that these...
No, you're right. You're right. A lot of people are saying that New York is actually a possibility for Trump to win. You're in Staten Island. What do you think? Is New York a possibility for Trump to win this time around? Are people so fed up?
I've heard so many people saying that fed up. Staten Island actually is one of the 5 boroughs. Staten Island is a very Republican area. Mm-hmm. So it is the thing. And I'm hoping so, because I always enjoy hearing you, and I'm just amazed that some people say, well, I think Biden's not that bad. Really? Oh, Lordy.
Who says that?
Some of the people that call in, that are trying to convince
come on. Who could believe that?
Us,
Who could believe that?
I don't.
Nobody believes that.
I got to check their alcohol. I have to check the alcohol level. I tell you that much.
Well, they just hate Trump. They just hate Trump. So
that's true.
I mean, Biden's dangerous.
They hated Trump. Yeah. They hated Trump since he beat their queen, Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
And we noticed that it's basically a 2-term thing, flip-flop thing. Hillary can bitch and moan about, excuse me the language,
That's right.
Cry about the election. I remember Al Gore cried about the election. And you remember that Stacey Abrams twice when she lost in Georgia. Oh, it's got to be fun.
Yeah. And she still does.
I only had the papers.
She still does.
Yeah.
Right. The thing about Hillary, Trump really saved us from Hillary, because forgetting about her liberal ideology, because I figured she'd be, I figured when she was first running against Obama, it would be awful if she became president. But I thought, well, you know what? She'll spend most of her time going around giving speeches about being the first woman president, it'll take away from a lot of her time to screw things up. And then on election night, when she had a nervous breakdown where she couldn't even come out in public and concede, she had to send somebody out to do it for her. If she had become president and there had been like a 9/11-like attack or a crisis, she would have had a breakdown and wouldn't have been able to handle it. And that's pretty scary.
Well, we know how bad she did with, we always say, remembering us about, what do you call it, the place that she screwed up when she was the secretary.
Benghazi.
What do you call
Benghazi.
Benghazi, yes. Oh, is that my fault? Excuse me. Was 11 to 12 people died under your watch as a secretary,
including
of State?
the U.S., including
Come
her
on.
friend, the ambassador. You know, the thing about Benghazi, because it gets forgotten a lot. You know, why was the U.S. ambassador based in Benghazi? Everybody knows the capital of Libya is Tripoli, right? The Marine Corps hymn, from the shores of, from halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. The reason that the U.S. ambassador was in Benghazi is because Obama and Hillary had given the terrorists in Libya weapons to overthrow Gaddafi, and he was there trying to get the weapons back. And the big secret of Benghazi, the weapons that they killed our ambassador and the other Americans with were weapons that Obama and Hillary gave to them. They were killed with American weapons that Hillary and Obama gave to the Libyans. That's the big secret. That's why there was a cover-up.
And during the trial, what difference does it make? It makes a lot of difference.
Oh yeah.
The fact that you screwed up. Come on.
And then look what happened. Then look what happened at that same time. Remember, Obama got SEAL Team 6 killed. He announced the SEAL team that got Bin Laden, and then Al Qaeda through spies inside the Afghan army got their location and killed SEAL Team 6 because of Obama. And then these are terrible people. Obama, Biden, Hillary, these are really incompetent. Their incompetence gets people killed all the time.
Yeah. And the sad part, the real sad part is how these journalists, the left-wing media, there's nothing here to see or cover up. I mean, they're protecting these Democratic schmucks who have screwed up big time. And they'll say, they cover for them.
You know, this last week at the trial, a lot of these famous Republicans have been going with Trump senators and stuff. And I don't know how many people have picked up on this, but they all talk about that the courtroom is in such poor condition. It's like a dungeon in there. Mm-hmm. And the reason I think they talk about that is you have this city that's been run by Democrats forever. And New York City's got plenty of money, but they're all stealing the money. The condition of the public buildings, including this courtroom, is an embarrassment.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
It's pretty bad. Well, listen, it's good. I appreciate your call from Staten Island. Take care, man.
Thank you. I always listen to you when I go to work in the morning.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Wait.
Yeah, if you're watching live, you can call me live. I'd love to hear from you. The number is pinned. The toll-free number is pinned to the top of the chat. Yeah, good call. I think he was a first-time caller. Good to hear from him. All right, back to Trump in Minnesota last night, which was just spectacular.
We're really, some people say you're conservative. I say, yeah, I'm conservative, I guess. But I'm really more of a common sense person. I think we're the party of common sense. I'd almost rather... and that means you need borders, you need a strong military, you need good education, try and get low interest rates, low taxes. But basically, it's sort of mostly common sense. Like,
that's right.
We just went over men and women's sports. We don't want to have men in women's sports. It's actually very dangerous. Women are being very badly hurt. Now they want to do boxing. They want to have women in boxing. You can't do these things, okay? You can't. Actually, how about where they were flying over? Did you see it?
Yeah, everything he said is right on the money. And when you look at Trump's policies, they act like he's some extreme person. He really, on a lot of social issues, is moderate compared to, like, say, a Pat Robertson type, right? He's not an extreme conservative when it comes to social issues. Not even abortion, because President Trump was always about overturning Roe v. Wade and let the states decide. That's a moderate position on abortion. So, their characterization of him is just couldn't be more wrong. Here's President Trump talking about Barron's graduation, which was just yesterday.
I had my very tall son get today. He graduated from high school. All 6'9".
You ever seen so much excitement over a high school graduation? It's pretty amazing.
I had my very tall son get today. He graduated from high school. All 6'9". 6'9". He was easy to spot. You look over that, and you have this one kid like 6'9".
Wow.
But he got good marks. He's a good boy, and it was a big day, actually. You know, for a while, the judge said you can't go to your son's graduation. But it was a lot of people not happy about that. But it was a beautiful thing to watch. But if you think about what we're doing and what I'm doing, I'm being indicted for you. And never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom.
That's right. You know, I mean, here we are. We're living under tyranny. President Trump is the leader of the political opposition. They've arrested him. They got mugshots. He's being held prisoner 4 days a week in this New York courtroom with this corrupt judge. And that story that I shared earlier in the stream that Laura Loomer has broken is just a fantastic story that illustrates all the corruption with this judge is worse than we ever realized. Now, by the way, guys, if you've not done it, get your Mighty MAGA Lion. There's a link in the description of the video. The Mighty MAGA Lion, available at mightymagalion.com. This is the only Trump-inspired merchandise wearing the MAGA hat. And the Mighty MAGA Lion is available only through me. It makes a great Father's Day gift, okay? And you guys, you can get it for yourself for Father's Day. If you buy more than one, you get a discount. And my wife and I, and Dee, who's one of the moderators of my chat room, we designed the Mighty MAGA Lion together and had them made, and they're available exclusively through us at mightymagalion.com. And like I said, what a great Father's Day gift. But you don't have to be a dad to want your Mighty MAGA Lion. You know, we've got the convention coming up, the Trump rallies. You watch your Trump rally with your Mighty MAGA Lion with you. It's a great way to watch a Trump rally. Or watch Trump accept the nomination at the Republican convention. MightyMagaLion.com is the website. And there's also a link in the description of the video. Order yours, all right? And again, remember, if you order more than one, you get a discount. MightyMagaLion.com. Isn't he cute? Yes, he is. CR, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. God bless President Trump. Absolutely. Absolutely. God bless President Trump. Oh, man. Well, listen, everyone. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe if you're new. This is the most pro-Trump place you'll find on any platform, anywhere. I promise you. If you don't love Trump, subscribe too, because if you watch me long enough, you'll be on the Trump train too. We'll red pill you right here on this YouTube channel. And everyone else who's already subbed, like the video if you don't mind, all right? My name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.